Hey everyone, Mark Blackwell here with Justice Ministries. I hope you're having a great day. It is July 2025. Where am I at right now? I am at the Living History display at Kings Mountain State Park. There's some horses in the background, some really cool old buildings and old sites. We're probably walking distance from the historic Kings Mountain battlefield. Why am I here today, and what does that have to do with Justice Ministries? Well, it's July, and we just celebrated our nation's 249th anniversary as a country, coming up on 250. And this July 19th, we are celebrating Justice Ministries' 15th anniversary as an organization serving victims of trafficking and exploitation here in the Carolinas. So both significant to the Carolinas and both in the cause of fighting for freedom. Now, what's interesting is the Battle of Kings Mountain, which if you don't know, you should look into it. It's a historic battle, and some actually call it the First Civil War. Now, why would they call it that? Well, it wasn't just this foreign national fight against the colonials, against the British. There was many people that were neighbors and living here in the colonies that were still loyal to the crown and did not desire independence. And so in this battle, a lot of the fighting was neighbor against neighbor, friend against friend in this fight for independence. Though it was an international fight, it was a local fight, and that's true for us today in the fight against human trafficking. Human trafficking, though an international problem and a stateside problem, we're not just dealing with perpetrators and abusers that are from overseas. In many cases, we have U.S. citizens being trafficked by U.S. citizens. So I just kind of wanted to make that connection that the fight for freedom is still on today. And like those early years when we fought for the freedom of this country, you can take different positions. You can be pro-freedom, you can be anti-freedom, and you can be apathetic. Now, whether or not you support Justice Ministries is not a metric of your position by any means, but I pose that question, and I would want you to consider, what's your position on the fight for freedom in 2025? Are you pro-freedom, and you're actively engaged in fighting for and pursuing and standing for freedom today? Are you anti-freedom, or are you apathetic? If you don't know your answer to that question, well, I would invite you to consider joining us in our fight against human trafficking in the Carolinas. That's a great place to start. For our 15th year, we're starting a campaign called that I'm calling 15 for Freedom. Right now, we were looking at some metrics. I was speaking with our director of operations the other day, and he informed me that where we average a little over 30 cases a year, we've already hit 32 cases this year, mid-year here in July. And with that, we need more case management hours from existing case managers and, Lord willing, to hire more. So the numbers we're looking at, we would need to raise about $7,500 recurring a month. And if 500 people simply donated $15 a month, that would help us meet that goal. So that's something to consider. Doesn't have to be 15. It can be 50. It can be 100. It can be whatever you felt led to give. We love recurring, but one time is very welcomed as well. So as we celebrate our 15th year as an organization, and we think back on our nation, and as we come into the 250th year as a nation here at the historic Kings Mountain site, I want you to think about those things. We are pro-freedom, and we are fighting for freedom to maintain the freedoms we have and to help provide freedom for those that are currently being oppressed, even local U.S. citizens. So what's your stance? What's your plan? Do you want to join the fight? Do you want to join the herd? The herd, yes. As you know, our logo is the bison. And with that, the bison we picked as a logo for many reasons. See, bison were plentiful across the Great Plains of America and all over this nation at one time. But bison have been severely oppressed as well. But no one would look at a bison and think it's a weak animal. Similarly, when predators would approach a herd of bison, the bison would form a protective perimeter around the smaller or potentially weaker or even sick in the herd to protect them. And that's kind of our posture. We want to simply provide a protective perimeter, and that comes out in our outreach, in our case management, in our housing efforts, whatever it is. And then lastly is a really cool thing. When a storm is on the horizon and bison see it, they don't avoid it. They don't run away from it. They turn and they face it head on, and they run full speed straight at it. Why do they do that? Well, they found that was the most effective way to deal with the storm, to get through the storm. And that's kind of our attitude as well. With human trafficking, we are not passive. We are not apathetic. We are anti-trafficking. We are pro-freedom, and we are going full speed ahead at this storm, this injustice in our modern times. The issue's not new. It's been going on throughout basically all of human history, but the fight is still the same, and we all have a responsibility to act. Caleb, our director of operations, reminded me, he wanted me to share with you all that in our recent metrics, it came out that we were about 70% program, only 30% admin. And apparently that's really good. They say the average is about 60-40. So you can trust that your dollars are being well spent. That's why we have an office in essentially a shipping container and things like that. We try to keep it lean on the overhead and this kind of stuff. This is why we do videos and PR in this way, trying to dress it up a little bit for you by sharing these kind of experiences. But I hope you know that we value so much all of you that partner with us. And I hope you can join with us and celebrate our 15th year as an organization. If you're not currently giving, hey, consider starting out with 15 for Freedom and join us today. But thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please reach out. We love to share. If we have the opportunity to come share with a small group or a church or anything like that, we would love to come out and help us get the word out. We've been so moved just by God's grace and his kindness, allowing us to continue to participate in this work year after year. We've been really touched by the generosity of individuals like you that have given sacrificially. So many times people go above and beyond. We don't deal with much grants and things like that. But we're basically privately funded, which keeps us pretty dangerous. We have other groups that are almost exclusively grant funded, and they're oftentimes having to call us to handle situations that they can't because of the red tape. And, we like staying free and fast because when you're dealing with issues of freedom, there's room for caution and there's room for categorical moves. But I always say this, yes, there is risk in taking action. But when you're dealing with people that are facing abuse and oppression and terrible things, there's also risk in moving slowly, and there's risk in not taking action. So that's what you can expect from us. We're a quick reaction team serving the Carolinas, all North and South Carolina. We're so thankful for all of you, your partnership and being a part of the herd and being a part of this team to help us do that and continue to do that. We praise God as we celebrate this 15th year. Lord willing, we'd like to see 15 more, and we'd like to get stronger and faster on the way. But thank you so much for listening. Reach out anytime. Learn more at justiceministries.org. We love you. God bless.